The following video is for comedy purposes only. It does not share the same opinions that I personally have. The benefit of General Jerry is to mirror the thoughts and opinions of the IWC and YWC. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I had to put a disclaimer in there because this video also falls in within fair use. Also, one of the Young Bucks mentioned me on Twitter. So don't get offended, lads. It's only a joke. Please.
In the long-lost mountains of professional wrestling, many legends came here. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mick Foley when he wasn't a cunt on Raw. You had D-Generation X when they weren't PG. All these legends soared through the skies. They took over the professional wrestling industry with great wrestling, great storylines, and amazing promos. But two men came forth and destroyed that promised land. Two men destroyed what was an amazing industry. It's time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the most requested video of all time since I've started this Rant series. The Young Bucks, one of the biggest prime offenders as to two guys that have literally destroyed this professional wrestling industry. When you look at the Young Bucks, you think, what a bunch of dickheads. They have single-handedly destroyed a move that became famous, the super kick. The Young Bucks are one of the worst professional wrestlers that I have ever seen in my life. They're uncharismatic. They like to copy other wrestlers' t-shirts. And pretty much their gimmick is Super Kick! Super Kick! Yes, that's real charisma right there. I can't stand these two guys because they are the worst that has to offer. And today we're going to be breaking down why they are terrible. I was introduced to the Young Bucks back in TNA, you know. By the way, I used to watch TNA. Yes, I actually still do for the Matt Hardy thing. But the Young Bucks, when they were in TNA, were terrible. They were uncharismatic. They were portrayed as the next Hardy Boys. And they were absolutely god-awful. And in Ring of Honor now, they're involved in the Bullet Club. Now, I'm not going to be talking about them or any other guy that's involved in the Bullet Club. My main focus here is the Young Bucks. Because they are the worst of the worst. Their matches are too fast-paced. They don't invoke good storytelling. Pretty much if you've seen one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all. Super Kick! Super Kick! Super Kick! And people people think now that this is a badge of honor. They think by the Young Bucks super kicking 100 different people, they seem to think that this is amazing. And this is what's wrong with the wrestling industry today, is that rather than building up storylines and betraying a story, now that wrestling now has betrayed to one move has become their story, and fans eat it up. These Ring of Honor fans, no disrespect to you guys, but some of these Ring of Honor fans eat this shit up. In fact, I've been told that a few Ring of Honor fans do not like the Young Bucks because it's the same thing over and over again. People seem to say about other wrestlers, they have the same moves, they have the same mindset, they keep doing the same thing, but yet Young Bucks aren't criticized by this. They're not criticized because they're immune to it. It's certain wrestlers, like other wrestlers that you've seen, for whatever reason, are immune to criticism. And the Young Bucks fall in this category. But I say, fuck that shit. I'm gonna criticize them, and I'm gonna put them in their goddamn place.
Number 1, the super kick. Probably the worst thing ever.
Let's get the main thing out of the way, the super kick. When someone does try and criticize the Young Bucks, they say, the super kick. And it is a fair criticism. The super kick, when Shawn Michaels did it, as well as many others, they would do it the once, 1, 2, 3, and that would be it. The Young Bucks, however, have diluted the super kick, and this is actually a trend that is in the indies, where the super kick has to be done multiple times. Another prime offender, listen Ziggler, nothing against you mate, but Ziggler is another guy that excessively does the super kick. But we're not talking about him, we're talking about the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, however, excessively do this. They take pride in the fact that they do multiple super kicks. They super kick an audience member, the referee, the commentator, the fucking your granny, your granda, the fucking butcher, the candlestick maker. They seem to pride themselves on this, and here's a simple fact that people have not pointed out. Where's the storytelling? There's no storytelling. Why are they portraying a story? Are they saying there's a reason why they do this? Have they discussed this? It's ridiculous to me that they excessively do the super kick and have single-handedly destroyed a move that once was absolutely excellent. And the worst thing is that not only is this a shitty trend, multiple wrestlers have literally done what the Young Bucks are doing and doing the super kick every single day. In fact, Ring of Honor pride themselves and New Japan Pro Wrestling pride themselves saying, let's get the super kick meter up there. Let's get it up there. Oh yes, isn't this hilarious? No, it's a guy literally slapping his fucking hands, hitting the guy in the face. The guy falls down and they're like, yeah, super kick! Super kick, this is amazing! I love it! Oh, Young Bucks, I love you! It's ridiculous. Where's the storytelling in this? See, this is what is the problem with indie wrestling today. And listen, I know I bash everyone. I bash TNA, I bash WWE, I bash everybody. That's my shit, okay? I bash everyone because it's open to criticism. But for whatever reason, Ring of Honor and these indie stuff are somehow immune to criticism. Let's face the facts, people. WWE, for whatever reason, seen what these two gimps were doing, as well as the grand scheme of what's happening in indie wrestling, and copied it, and have single-handedly destroyed their industry. Now, I'm not saying that indie wrestling is all bad. I'm not saying that. Listen, Kenny Omega, I know people have given Kenny Omega some shit, but I'm willing to give him a chance when he comes to WWE, okay? Because he actually does some good promos. I have to admit, he actually does. I am looking forward to him. I hope he does well, blah, 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 blah. So I don't completely hate the indie fan. So before anyone comes in and says, you just an indie hater. No, that's not the case. But the case about these guys is that they've single-handedly destroyed the professional wrestling industry with this simple move.
Like, I mean, and people are laughing. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Is this the level that we've got? If they did it once, if they did these multiple super kicks just once, or twice, or 3 times, okay, alright, it's their thing, but they are continuing to do it. They super kick people left, right, and center, and they seem to think it's funny, and the people lap it up. They lap that shit up because they think it's absolutely amazing. And it's terrible to me that these two Hardy Boy wannabes, let's just call them like they are, they're Hardy Boy wannabes. Back in the day when they were in TNA, they had like the kind of Hardy look about them, and you know, they were trying to be the Hardys and stuff like that. Listen, they're no fucking Hardys, because unlike the Young Bucks, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy actually reinvented themselves multiple times. There's times where they failed, yes, but at least they've tried. And with this Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy thing that they're doing in TNA, they are doing an excellent job. The Young Bucks, however, are doing the same shit over and over and over again. In fact, if you look at what they do it multiple times, all the time. If you've seen one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all, but yet these guys aren't immune to criticism.
Number 2, they copy other people. Something else that they never get criticized for is how unoriginal they are. Now, I understand Kenny Omega's in this, I'm not gonna get into him, but the Young Bucks pretty much like copying other people when it comes to the New Day, the Hardy Boys, as well as multiple people. Rather than creating something original themselves, they actually end up copying other trends in WWE, something that the Ring of Honor fans never actually talk about. In fact, they actually blatantly copy the New Day, which is a terrible thing to copy anyway, but they ended up using t-shirts, cereal, and they said super kicks, and they ended up copying the hell out of the New Day. And that is another problem that I have with them. Not only the super kicks, but the fact that they have the gall to copy other people and not come up with other shit themselves. It's disgusting. Number 3, they are not funny in the slightest. One of the other things that Ring of Honor fans seem to like about the Young Bucks is that, quote-unquote, they're hilarious, they're so funny, they're original. Not only is their comedy, like I said in the previous point, ripped off from other WWE stuff, as well as other New Japan stuff, as well as other companies, they rip off other jokes as well. Not only that, but they seem to have this kind of, we're funny. We're cool. You know, we're cool. You know, you remember back in the 90s? Remember when, like, Limp Bizkit was around and you had the guy with, like, the back-to-front baseball cap and goes, yo, man, I'm funny, man. I'm so cool. I'm so funny. And I'm original. And just like Limp Bizkit music, the Young Bucks are completely unoriginal at the same time. They try and portray that this super kick is hilarious and stuff like that. And oh my god, it's so funny. Isn't it there, folks? It's absolutely hilarious. I love it. It's so funny. No, it's not. It's not funny. It's not funny in the slightest. And they are unoriginal. And they are one of the least funny people. The fact that they try and copy the New Day, which it isn't even funny in the slightest. And the fact that they seem to think that this super kick thing is absolutely hilarious is mind-boggling to me. Folks, they are not funny. They are unoriginal. And they're a big pile of shite. In conclusion, and to sum them all up. In conclusion, the Young Bucks are not as great as what people portray. And unfortunately, there has been people that have criticized the Young Bucks, and they've been brutally attacked. Constantly. People giving them death threats and shit like that. People saying that the Young Bucks are the greatest thing that ever graced this planet. And when someone criticizes them, they all rain down on them and shit on them. And that's the worst thing about it. The worst thing about all of this here, folks, is that the Young Bucks are not great. And if you don't like them, you do not have to. If you don't like Nakamura, and if you don't like John Cena, and if you don't like HBK, and if you don't like Bret Hart, and if you don't like these wrestlers, you have a right to criticize them. Freedom of speech, motherfuckers. And the fact is that some of these wrestlers are exclusively not allowed to be criticized. And that is one of the reasons why I've done this rant series. And it sickens me that the fact that people that have tried to talk about the Young Bucks get ridiculed and abused because they don't like a wrestler. And people might turn around and say, and this is another thing that other people portray, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Here's the news flash, folks. Wrestling reviewers talk about wrestling. I have a right to criticize who I think is bad and who I don't. And who's to say I'm wrong? Who's to say another person that might like them? All power to you. But they have a right to be criticized. Guys, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the General Jerry channel. I might make another rant series in the next few weeks. These videos do take quite some time with editing and stuff, and I really want to do more of these videos. So if you did enjoy it, please like it and subscribe, and also comment below. I know I'm going to get some here from these Young Buck fans, but here's the newsflash. I don't give a shit. This is General Jerry on the General Jerry channel, signing out.